Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a worth the buy or nah foundation review on the very new Cover FX Power Play Foundation. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off. Per usual, we're gonna be using our SD Day Wear Matte Moisturizer, and we are just going to apply this everywhere. I only use this moisturizer when I'm doing like a full-blown foundation look. If I'm not doing foundation, then I don't do this. I just use another moisturizer, which is the Cosmetics one. But when I'm doing like actual full face of makeup, I like to use this because I feel like it's a really good moisturizer for people that have oily skin, and it's also a good primer, so it kind of saves me that step of having to go ahead and prime afterwards. So now we're gonna take the foundation. So here is my skin. My cheeks are really red today. I don't know why. They were like pretty nice in the morning, but I feel like they got a little bit red. So the consistency is a nice creamy consistency. So I'm gonna go ahead and just dot this. It smells like straight up paint, and I do not like it whatsoever. So we'll see how this ends up wearing though. As you can see though, it covers really quickly, and it's supposed to have a matte finish with fine powders. As soon as you put it down, it's on there. First impression based on the way it's setting, if you have dry skin, this isn't for you. Because it's setting too quick, it's gonna cling onto your dryness right away. And now we're gonna do the other side with our brush. So for brush, I'm using my Delium Tools Precision Kabuki brush. I love this brush. I feel like it's not like one of those like really like intensely defined flat top kabukis. I feel like it has a little bit of fluff, and it's super duper soft. So we're gonna use that, and we are just going to take some product. I also am not the biggest fan of this bottle. I don't know. I mean, it looks travel friendly, but for me, I don't like those type of bottles. That scent, man, I can't get over it. I feel like with a brush, it's super sheer. Do you guys see that? The consistency isn't so thick. Like, even though it's a matte foundation, it's not like one of those like hardcore, like thick consistency. Okay, I think I'm gonna go back with the beauty sponge. I would say if you're looking for a full coverage foundation, that's why you got this foundation, because you want it to be full coverage and keep you, and you like the fact that it's matte. I would say use the sponge, because the brush, it's not looking good at all. It looks so sheer on the skin. You can still see my redness. Now I don't think it's this brush, because I use this brush all the time. I just think it's the foundation that just looks better with a sponge. Okay, with the sponge, it definitely built up on this side. So now that we went ahead and applied our foundation, I kind of want to just take a close look at it, really up close to my mirror, and see what it looks like. Okay, so I feel like it definitely has a matte finish, but I think it's more so of a soft matte finish, because you can still see a little bit of radiance. It's not one of those finishes where I feel like it's completely like powdered or anything like that. So I would say if you have really textured skin, this wouldn't be the one for you, because it's really pulling through on my smaller textures on my cheeks. So those are my first thoughts. I feel like I'm kind of like in between with it. Like I like the fact that it's not one of those matte foundations that's completely flat, but I feel like there's something that I'm not liking that's not connecting with me. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do right now is finish the rest of my makeup. I'm going to put on the rest of my products and see how they work with this foundation, because that's so important for me, especially when I'm gonna be applying bronzer and concealer and just different products together. I want to make sure that they're going to work well with. So I will be back and give you guys my very first impressions once I'm done that, and then we can go ahead and start our day and see if this Cover FX Power Play Foundation is worth the buy. Okay, so I am back. It is now 2:17 p.m. I literally took me about like an hour and a half to do my makeup, and I think it's because I did this glitter cut crease, so I was like really taking my time. I always like to watch Housewives of Beverly Hills or New Jersey when I'm doing my makeup, like intermission period, and I forget, like end up like, oh my god, Oh my god. But I think I have some really good first impressions on this makeup. So I want to start off by the fact that it looks nice and matte right now. I didn't go ahead and powder it at all. I was thinking I would have to because it did kind of give me like a soft luminous finish right in this area right here, but it ended up getting really nice and matte. It's not like a really intense matte, like, oh my god, I look so like flat and like no shimmer. It was just like a really, really nice powdery finish matte look. And then I did some concealer on my under eye, and I have to say that I did feel like I had to really go in and blend a lot, and then I felt like the foundation was starting to break apart underneath. So this is a foundation that I wouldn't recommend using a lot of powder with because it does set to that powdery finish. So I feel like just adding more powder is just gonna make it look bad. Now I do have to say I'm happy that it didn't break apart my bronzer. For bronzer, I did go ahead and use my KKW Beauty bronzer, and it didn't break apart, which I was shocked because I thought that it was going to break apart my bronzer. I was like, oh my god, if it kind of broke apart my concealer, it's definitely gonna break apart the bronzer, but it did not break apart the bronzer, so I'm really excited about that. I feel like as I finished up my makeup and got to the final steps, like my lip and my highlight, I noticed that it started to kind of give me that like nice, like perfected finish that I was looking for in the very beginning. I feel like in the very beginning it was accentuating my texture. I don't know why, but now I feel like it just kind of like smoothed everything out. Maybe it's because everything came together, but I did not use anything on the face besides the foundation like to set or anything like that. I didn't use a spray. I didn't use a powder because I felt like powder was going to be too much. I feel like it set really well. So I do have to say, when we first started, it was a bumpy ride. I did feel like I wasn't connecting with it. I felt like it was just looking like any other foundation that I tried, but I feel like as it set, it definitely set nicely. So I will be back in a few hours and give you guys my final thoughts on how this foundation played out, and then we can decide if it's worth those $46. I think it's $44. With tax, it's like $46. So then we can decide if this is really worth a buy or not, especially for our people that are looking for a nice new matte foundation in the market. So stay tuned. Okay, so I am back, and I think I have some pretty good thoughts on this foundation. And can we just talk about how this stayed on? Like, I am really impressed. Like, we got off to a semi-bumpy start, I must say. I feel like there's things that I don't like about this foundation, but there's also things that are really good about this foundation that for somebody that's looking for a matte consistency are gonna appreciate. Now, you guys know the first things first is the fact that this foundation is still looking pretty matte and healthy. Now, after it being a few hours, it looks more on like a matte healthy side, as opposed to when we first checked in after I applied my entire face. It definitely looked like a matte foundation, like just matte all around. It has a little bit of radiance within some parts of my skin, which I think gives the foundation a really like dimensional look. And I feel like it makes it look super fresh, but it's not taking away from the fact that you know, we have product on our skin. And I do have to say, I did spend probably about like 30 minutes taking selfies. You know, I have to just take some selfies and really see how this looks. And the foundation looks so good. Like, it looked like I just had like a filter on / I looked airbrush / it did not accentuate my texture. I notice that sometimes when I take pictures, especially if I'm using like a high definition camera, I have my Sony camera, and sometimes it picks up those textures heavily, and it's like, ooh, no, that's not the way that I'm going here. And this foundation, like, it basically blurred everything out and made it look really, really nice. So I have to say, those are some key things after me doing my first official check-in that I noticed that I really appreciated. I also appreciate the fact that it feels really good on the skin. It feels nice and lightweight. It doesn't really feel like I have makeup on. I also do want to say, I feel like in my book, the negatives that I didn't like, for example, I don't like the scent of this at all. It just has like this paint scent that, like, as I'm putting it on, like, as like if you are trying it for the first time and you're just trying it out, I feel like you're kind of like, oh my god, I feel like this is gonna make me break out, because it just has a nasty scent. There are some parts around my nose where I saw that it really was clinging on to my nose in certain areas. You could tell that I had some foundation on just on the sides of my nose. That's about it. Everything else looked pretty good. But you do want to make sure that when you're blending out the foundation, you're going fast, or you work in like smaller sections. So first you apply some here and really go in, and then like so forth. But it's weird because the formula of this, like the way it feels when you apply it on the back of your hand, it's not a thick consistency. It's pretty like smooth and creamy. So you wouldn't think that it's gonna dry so fast on the skin, but it does. I think it definitely is worth the $44 because I think that for longevity, it's lasting really beautifully on the skin, and this is something that I could see myself wearing again. But I think that for somebody that has dry skin, I would not recommend this. I think it's gonna break apart really badly on you, and because it's set so fast and then it starts breaking apart if you mess with it, it may not go well. So I would recommend this more for my combo to oily skin people that are looking for a nice, healthy looking matte finish. I would really recommend you guys going to the store. I think they're gonna start selling them in Sephora. I wanna say around the 8th or the 10th. I will have the exact date listed down below in the description box. But if you don't want to wait that long, you can go ahead and order it on Cover FX. Right now they have it on sale. Shipping does take about a week or so, and they are offering free shipping right now. So it ends up just being $46, $44 plus your tax, and then free shipping. So that's awesome, but it will take a week. So if you're trying to get it super fast for like a party, something special, then you might want to expedite it. But if you don't mind waiting, I would really recommend waiting until it's in store so you can really go get color matched and make sure that you get the right shade and don't have any problems. So that's all I can say. And if you've tried this foundation, then please, I would love to know your thoughts and what you think of it. And if you haven't tried it, are you still gonna try it? I wanna know. I wanna know all the tea. So if you guys enjoyed watching my worth the buy or not videos, please go ahead and like this video. It lets me know to continue doing these. And if you guys have any other foundation recommendations, then please go ahead and leave them down below so that I can go ahead and work my way through them and bring you guys the best foundation reviews. So if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe because I wouldn't want you to miss any of this fun for the world because I bring you guys the best foundation reviews. Like, let's be honest. So don't forget to subscribe. Go ahead and do that down below. Help me get to 13,000. We are well on our way. It's crazy how fast we're growing, and it just makes my day every single day when I see some new subbies here. So if you're new, don't forget to comment down below and be like, hey girl, I'm new. I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon for a brand new video. Bye guys.